only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen.
Hello everyone, my name is Avery. YouTube decided to call me Zedu, so I am Zedu now. But welcome back to part 10 of Dark Souls, but different. And when I mean different, I mean... oh god, my throat's trying to kill me. Excuse me, I mean we have Black Phantoms and some other things here. I am not in a good mood right now, well, returning to this video. I've had to record commentary on this thing like 6 times, no, like, realistically 3. But I might as well be in drama class, so it's like 6 in my head. But yeah, it's not been enjoyable whatsoever. And I hope that this time the commentary actually works, or I'm just talking in thin air, and there's nothing better than talking in thin air. But today we'll be going down to Darkroot Basin, whatever it's called, to slaughter some broccoli men and kill the Hydra. When we kill the Hydra, we shall get a ring, and that ring will tell us that nothing, actually, and I'll just move on impulse because I learned how to get to the DLC using the video. What a shock. But I recommend that we do that anyway. Yeah, it's not been enjoyable. I got mad last night and scrapped the whole recording, so I had to do it all over again, so there's probably some, like, gross, and I mean gross, like, errors that I just haven't picked up on yet. We're gonna fight the boss, one of the bosses, before we actually get to his area, I guarantee it. But the Hydra has merits in my book for being the worst enemy in the game. He's a long fight, he's boring, and he's punishing. Sort of like Dark Souls 2 bosses on New Game Plus. But we're not in here to talk about Dark Souls 2, and I can't say much considering I sort of want to record it. If Camtasia decides that it doesn't like, if it likes the game. Because I remember it not. Well, not really. I tried to play some music from the game, and apparently it doesn't have the encoding skill to do it. So there's some crystal golems in here because of reasons, and well, there's a definite amount of not much running out of things to say because I've said everything I've wanted to say twice. So it's really, really biting me in the ass. I think I talked about crystal golems in part 7. I was doing so good too. This is the first time I've ever had to do something like this. Thrice. And it's annoying. Something to keep in mind, I guarantee you get hit by all of those at once, it's probably an insta-kill. I don't really know. But basically the strategy here, you want to bait the Hydras into growling so they thrust their heads at you. And then you want to start trying to cut off one of their heads. Well, that will happen to you. Yeah, not much to really say about it. It's not the most interesting thing. I mean, I'd say that I'm scared of it, but which is true, I am sort of scared of this guy, but I've fought him so many times, I'm sort of desensitized. I don't like water monsters. It's the main reason I didn't finish Wind Waker until I was in, like, 8th grade. Or something daft like that. And that was Wind Waker, dang it. The worst they did was the big octos. I'm scared to see what else I could have played that came out with some legitimately threatening sea monsters. How the heck do you get a Hydra in your lake anyways? Dude. never went swimming in a wet lake. I don't think I should. But yeah, right now I'm just waiting this through. Just seeing until when I finally just get pissed off and decide that this thing needs to just die really quickly. Oh shit, I hope I fast forward this footage. If I didn't, well, I'll have to and post, which will probably like desync everything. My voice feels really nasally right now. And yeah, I've had to F around with this for so long. It isn't even funny. Yeah, not really. Oh god, give me a sec. You know, sometimes I wonder if... never mind, I don't know. Yeah, he's finally dead. I don't dig that guy one bit. It takes forever, but anyway, there's a secret over here, so if we quit out of our game after killing the Hydra, we will meet with the loading screen. Sorta. But this little alcove right here, I'm not sure if it was in the base game before the DLC, but now there's a gold golem. And he is like a crystal golem, except he hits a little bit harder. So there's me taunting at him, and it's time to kill him. He isn't too bad. Also, I don't think he was so bad. Ow. Alright, no, he's not that bad. Yeah, it's just been... Excuse if I sound a little bit put out. I'll be much more excited in part 12, which I might do today. But like, it's so annoying, and who is this?
So, 'tis thou who rescued me. Most gracious, I am deeply obliged. I am Dusk of Ulasil. I cometh from an age long before thine. I cannot stay here for long. So, before I disappear, allow me to ask one thing. My home, Ulasil, is the home of ancient sorceries. My hope is to pass this profound knowledge to thee, with thine approval. Would this be of my heartfelt thanks? I am pleased beyond words. Then I shout, engrave my signature. If thou art in need, pray summon me from my signature. It seems that my time is done. May the great...
And what now? She disappears into the nowhere. And we reappear in Anor Londo. Now, to continue the DLC, we need to go into the Duke's Archives and kill a Crystal Golem. Well, I think this is just the footage. I think the footage is really messing with me. Yeah, I was just being a bit laggy. Still is a bit laggy, probably because it's been sped up. It should be fine when everyone gets to see it. But, yeah. Don't think it'll be that bad. Yeah, it's just going back through here again. You've seen it all before. This hurts so much. I've had to watch this footage 5, maybe 3 times, and it hurts so much. Yeah. The bow is definitely a useful tool though, and if you're trying to play the game without one, you're fooling yourself into a lot of pain. Oh, that hurts always too. That could have been so cool looking. But hey. We're there. We got our broken pendant, and now it's time to go back to where we were. damn it. Well, where are we now? Who's this guy? That is my favorite character in all of Dark Souls. If he knows who he is, and he probably does. Now he knows. Alright, so we've been snatched by some sort of weird hand, and we are in the past. It's a bit of a spoiler, but hey, what can you do? This is the Sanctuary Guardian. It's a lion, it's a scorpion, it's some other parts of an animal I don't really know nor care to remember. And he is one of the easiest fights in the game. Trouble is, he does as much damage as any of the other fights. And he will mess you up if you're not careful. Or if you haven't played the DLC in God knows how long. Like myself. Actually, I haven't played the DLC. I've only went through the DLC a couple times. I haven't been exactly very keen on completing it. And that was me getting brutalized. And here he is again, still angry at us. You'll have to get over it, unfortunately. We've got a job to do. So he isn't too bad. You can break his poison about 3 or 4 hits. When he does this weird... that right there, he'll continue that for a really long time if you're not careful. You want to get into the habit of like dodging all the way back or dodging to the left and back. If he starts spamming that, this boss can get really annoying. I don't know why I can't dodge that. It's not that hard to dodge. That's a really, really risky or clutchy dodge. And yeah, he isn't too big a deal on any difficulty. He shouldn't give anyone all that much trouble unless they're significantly fresh to the series. I mean, the thing is about Dark Souls is, don't get discouraged just because you died once to a boss fight. Like, I know that's, like, really baby simple stuff, but it's something that needs to be repeated. Because there was a time in games when it wasn't all about doing everything first try. I'm sure, I think that's just beating a dead horse, but yeah. And it used to be a lot worse than Dark Souls. Look at Mega Man, for example. Mega Man gave you lives, yeah, but what happens when you ran out of lives? Well, you had to do the stage all over again. And it's just simple game design, really. Getting the point A to point B. If you can't get the point B, you have to start back at point A. Anyway, have some dialogue where we obtain our next mission.
Well, look at this one. From what faraway age hast thou come? Thy scent is very human indeed, but not intolerable. Ah, Princess Dusk's savior. Thine aura is precisely as she described. I thank thee deeply for rescuing Her Highness. But Princess Dusk is here no longer, snatched away by that horrifying primeval human. And so I must ask, couldst thou once more play the savior? Thank you. I am Elizabeth, guardian of this sanctuary. Something of a godmother to Princess Dusk. I shall assist thee to my utmost, for I am one with the sorceries of Orysil. Thou shalt see further on, an abyss was begat of the ancient beast, and threatens to swallow the whole of Orysil. Knight Artorias came to stop this, but such a hero has nary a murmur of dark. Without doubt he will be swallowed by the abyss, overcome by its utter blackness. Indeed, the Abyss may be unstoppable. Still, I have faith that Princess Dusk may be rescued yet. Thou shalt may the flames guide thee.
Alright, and that is our objective. I never thought we'd be saving a princess in a Souls game, but we are today. Well, might as well do it. I mean, it's not like the Abyss is going to try to swallow the whole world or anything. In fact, it probably is. Yeah. So this is the Royal Wood. It's an area. It looks a lot like Darkroot Garden. I bet it probably is Darkroot Garden. Wouldn't that be a scary thought? And I bet these scarecrows might have been our past broccoli men. That'd be an even scarier thought. Yeah, it's a relatively, what's the word? Sane, I guess? It's fairly easy. Not much trouble to have here. It's a pretty well-designed area, I'm not going to lie. I think it's pretty decently designed. And then again, there's a lot of places in this game that are quite well-designed. Not a lot of it in Dark Souls 2, though. Like, if you notice in this game, there's a lot of circular level design. Like, they find ways to make these huge maps become really short by adding these strange little shortcuts. And it's something Dark Souls 2 doesn't have a lot of. I mean, I know there's that one in Forest of the Fallen Giants, but I can't name any others. I really can't. But again, I need to stop talking about Dark Souls 2. This isn't Dark Souls 2. This is Dark Souls 1. I mean, I guess I sort of want to talk about it because it's recent, and it's still a very active discussion topic. But so is this game, I think. I'd like to think so. But yeah. DLC looks... I really like this DLC. That's my favorite part of the set. Hi. Anyway, yeah, I really like this second part of the DLC, or the second part of the game for this DLC. It's like the only part of it I really enjoy. Duke's Archives is alright, but there's not many other areas that I really enjoy as much as this. Shit. I have to say, although that was a bit scary when that happened, it is always good to know that you will always be reminded that your Steam is always up at all times. By the way, kudos to that guy. If he's watching, I just want to let that guy know he's baller. In so many ways than one. The guy netted me... The guy bought me Payday 2, and... yeah. I have to say, that makes me feel really happy. And I have to say I really do like Payday 2. It's pretty sweet, not gonna lie. But yeah. Look at what's happened to this place. It's a bit abyssy and all of that. All that slime is basically the corrosion of the abyss. And if you look down, there's a bit of black, and that black is what the world might be, as dramatic as that sounds. But hey, now we have a plot for the rest of the game about what's going on, about what the dark really is, or what happens when the dark gets too dark, if that makes any sense. It sounds really nerdy, to be honest. That's our boss fog for this video. And who's this guy? Hello? Oh, what's that? And who's this guy? Hello?
Let me guess. Snatched by a shadowy limb and dragged off to the past. Yes, of course. Exactly what happened to me. We are both strangers in this strange land. But at least now there are two of us. Did you happen across Knight Artorias? The legendary Abysswalker from the old tales? Well, if you haven't, it's just as well. He's a colorless sort, if you ask me. So, what did that giant mushroom make you do? Not that I care. It's none of my business. I've little to talk about, really. Oh, you know me. What do I know? So long.
Well, that was Marvelous Chester. We'll be seeing bits and pieces of him. Sorta. Yeah, we're only gonna meet up with him like once. Maybe at the most. Maybe twice. Anyway, here's the boss of the area. He's cool. Yeah, so this is Artorias. If you are even remotely lore savvy, this is the person that Elizabeth was talking about, and this is the person who owned the wolf ring that allows me to have my beautiful poise numbers of 72, and maybe even higher. Now this guy is really fast, really hard hitting, and an extremely fun fight. And it's mainly because of that. It's a fight that I really can't explain. You have to really do it for yourself. You the main strategy is just sort of trading blows with him. You want to counterattack him and not get too aggressive, because if you get too aggressive, he'll probably do an attack like that, which is outright devastating sometimes. If you're using a longsword like I am, and you probably should use something fast like that, keep in mind that when he's doing that rolling swipe, you want to do the R2 because it has a bit of reach to it. Don't try to dodge and do the poke. The poke is not long enough for it. He's a really fun fight. I think I've said that once too many times. But yeah, it's a fight you really don't forget. It really is. And I don't really know why. It's 7:45 in the afternoon and I'm working up a yawn. I have wasted so much time doing this recording, or trying to mess around with this recording. I really hope it works this time. And if it doesn't, I'm going to have to take a break from this whole thing and, like, sleep. That's all I really would want to do in that scenario. Watch out for that slime. It can break your poise instantly, regardless of what it is. He will buff himself, and this buff can be outright devastating. because on this difficulty the buff will pretty much insta-kill you, and I'm going to go ahead and say it probably can on every other difficulty. You do not want to mess around with that buff. The only reason I let him buff is if I absolutely need the heal, and even then I don't think that's the best excuse. You're probably just hurting yourself. But just everything about this fight, the music, he's fighting Silent in general. It's just a really smooth fight, and it's one that you just want to do over and over again. I really got lucky right there. That if he buffs, man, he does this weird Wrath of the Gods-esque like shockwave. Ugh, can't speak. And then he just gets more deadly than he needs to be. And on this difficulty, enemies can kill you to 3 to 4 hits anyway. So, you know, you don't want to mess around. But the fight's coming to a close, and with it, the video. If I sounded a bit tired in this episode, I hope I explained why. Yeah, I'll try to get the rest of this done. The rest of at least the Abyss done today, after I get done reading a bit. But yeah, we won. Woohoo! I normally bow after the fight, but I died like 11 times to this guy, so I was not in the mood for bowing. I was actually very excited to get him beat on camera because I think I was being thrown off by the Fraps bar, the Fraps FPS counter. Which sounds hilarious, it really does. But yeah, let's regain our 0 souls and let's move on with our life. I wanted to add in a death reel, and I just, after the second recording of this, I just didn't want to put all of that effort into it again. Although I wish I could have just gone it the second time, because I think out of the 3 recordings I've done, that my second was the best. But too much to cry about now. Everyone have a good day, and see you later.